Hi friends, the question in front of us today is whether free will exists. Why is it important? Because a lot of pain of the human experience is in the form of regret, remorse, guilt of the past actions, past decisions and past choices. If free will does not exist, then that pain becomes irrational. Because if those actions, decisions, choices were not in our control, it is illogical to feel pain for it. So this question relates very deeply to the human experience. The conclusion that I have reached on this topic is that it is impossible to prove either way whether free will exists or not. And I want to share that idea with you. So, how can we go about proving that free will exists? So, suppose there is an actor in a universe, and for this actor we would like to prove that he has free will. What will we need to do for that? So suppose at time tn, the state of the universe is un, and then the actor takes, in that instant or just the next instant, the actor takes some action A. So the state of the universe becomes un plus A at time tn plus 1, right? So to prove that free will exists, we need to show that this A could have been B, some other action B. And for that, we need to recreate this universe un, right? What I mean to say is that having some other, at some other time, say tp, and taking some other universe up and showing that the actor can take this decision B is irrelevant, right? At p plus 1th instance, the universe becomes this, but this action B was taken in this universe up. It was not taken in the universe un, right? This formalism I would also like to illustrate through an example. See, we feel very strongly that free will exists, right? I feel that I have chosen to make this video. I feel that I could very easily have decided to not make it, right? It feels that this was a choice that I made just a few minutes ago, and I could have not done it. I could have chosen the other way. But the only way to prove it is to recreate that universe in which I made this choice to make this video, and with all of those variables in the exact same values. So, can I still choose to not make this video? That is the question in front of us. So, if the universe was exactly the same, and the thought impulse inside me was exactly the same, and I was feeling equally strongly, and my chemical composition of my brain and the environment around me was exactly the same, it feels that I would have made this same decision every time. And so I tend to bend in the direction that probably free will does not exist. Because in that exact same universe, with that exact same intensity of feeling, that okay, let me make this video because it is an interesting idea, or anything, any of those thoughts, with that exact same chain of thoughts, did I really have that power anywhere in that chain to stop my making of this video, is the question in front of us. And I don't think that we have that power. But I'm digressing a bit, because I still want to say that it is impossible to prove. I mean, I said that I feel that free will does not exist, but we will also go there and see that it is impossible to prove it that way also. But I want to, for now, I just want you to take this idea and understand it, that when you take the universe from un to un plus a with your action a, then you have changed this universe, and then you feel that you could very easily have taken an action B, but that feeling is irrelevant. To prove it, you have to recreate the universe UN and then take some other action B. Then only we will be able to prove it. But there is no way to recreate the universe UN. It has gone. The universe has changed. And so there is no way to prove. We can take this action B in some other universe UP, but that is irrelevant because that is not the universe UN. So this was a slight repetition, but I wanted to stress the point. So we can see that it is impossible to prove that free will exists, because we will never be able to create the same universe and show by taking another action that free will exists, right? For free will doesn't exist is arguably an even more challenging proposition. So, I mean, when this is impossible and that is impossible, but still it is in one way more challenging. I will just share the idea with you. So to prove that free will does not exist, what we need to do? So we have a universe at time Tn, which is un, and and the actor takes an action A, and the universe goes to un plus A at time Tn plus 1, right? And to prove that free will does not exist, which I said is what I feel based on my whatever I have experienced. To prove this, we have to recreate infinitely many universes, un, and show every time that A happens. For, you see, I mean, this would be say un1, and then again we have to create an equivalent universe un2 and show that there is no difference between these universes, but they are just different instances of the universe, right? And we have to show that this happens every time for infinite number of times, right? Now this is obviously much more difficult. To prove that free will exists, we just need one example. But to prove that free will does not exist, we need to create infinite such universes and show that every time action A is taken, so there is no possibility of any other action. And both of these are impossible because there is no way to recreate the universe UN. So this is impossible, and obviously there is no way to recreate infinite universes UN, which is even more difficult problem arguably. So it is also impossible to prove that free will does not exist. And therefore, I want to end this video by saying that we should be a little more kind to ourselves. We strongly feel for some past action or decision or choice that we could have done it differently. We should have done it differently. We must have done it. But we don't really know that we could have done that. I mean, it was in our control. Given the same intensity of feeling, the same intensity of thought, the same intensity of the surrounding variables, could we really have gone the other way? I mean, imagine just an instant before that choice was made or that decision was made. If you had the same level of thoughts in same amount of intensity, could you really have gone in the other direction? I don't feel so. And even if it may have been possible, I mean, it is indeterminable. We cannot never be sure. So why to beat ourselves too much for it? So that is the thought that I want to end this video with. Thank you so much. And please do share your comments. Thanks a lot.